and welcome to the Codex Prime Podcast. We are on episode 81. I am your host, Victor Omoayo, and it is Wednesday, July 12th, 2017. And with me, as always, is Carl Byrd, the social media chair and co-host.
What's going on, everybody?
Yeah, so we're back. We're back once again. A brand new week. We're going to be talking about Spider-Man: Homecoming. We're going to give our brief non-spoiler review as well as our in-depth spoiler-filled review. That's at the top later on in the show. And we got some other nerd culture goodness and whatnot to get into later on as well. So for those of you who are watching during your work hours, because it is in the middle of Wednesday afternoon, hey, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, just don't let your boss catch you. If your boss catches you, hey,
tell him to watch.
Yeah, tell him to watch. You know, we need the views. Yeah, so we got a few things to talk about. So Carl, with that said, what you been up to, man?
Well, first of all, this weekend was the Will Blackman football camp. Mm-hmm. So I just want to, thank you to give a big thank you to everybody who came out, and a big shout outs to Will, Deb Weinreich, who put the whole thing together, and just the whole Blackman family who came out. It was just a great experience for kids to come out and learn and to have fun. And also Deb and, Will and his whole family, they just made sure that I was okay. Like, 'cause it was really hot that day. Mm-hmm. And I was like paranoid because we were supposed to get rain that day. It didn't even start raining at all. Yeah. Like, we probably got like a cloud and we got a little nervous, but then that was it. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, it was great. It was just a great experience. They kept me very well hydrated, and everything just went copacetic. So, a big shout outs to them. That was a good time. Can't wait to do it again next year, which I think next year it's going to be a 2-day event.
Okay.
So he's going to be doing something especially for like the high school students. Mm-hmm. Because the ages are from 6 to 14.
Okay.
So he's going to end up doing something more for high school students, and it'll be a 2-day event. So I'm looking forward to DJing both days. Okay. Okay. Other than obviously the subjects at hand, Spider-Man: Homecoming. Shout out to my little cousin David. I took him out to go see it, and he now thinks he's Spider-Man.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And big shout outs to Jim Savard and Trevor, who I was just in the theater, and the next thing you know, I look. And they're sitting right there, so we just sat right there, watched it, and then just jumped throughout the movie.
Nice.
So it was fun. It was fun, and I started let me go backwards. I started watching the third tripod of Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Mm-hmm. So they're now Agents of Hydra.
Okay.
Where with the LMD situation, they all woke up into a alternate reality, mm-hmm. and now like they're Hydra agents. Except Coulson, he's a teacher, but he's still kind of under like the Hydra banner. Mm-hmm. Leo Fitz is rich. They ain't really. Oh, he is a Hydra agent as well. They're all Hydra agents.
Okay.
The only two. Well, Daisy, she is a Hydra agent, but she's still stuck in the actual real reality. She's like, why am I a Hydra agent? Why am I dating Grant Ward, who was actually like killed off? Mm-hmm. What's going on? And also Gemma Simmons, who was dead, mm-hmm. but it turns out that she was alive, so she's still trying to figure out like what the hell is going on. So I only caught the first episode. Yeah. So hopefully, when I get a chance to finish it, I can dive into more of what's going on. Okay. Let y'all know what's going on. But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is still a good show. It's still a very underrated show. I still think everyone should just watch it.
And it's on its 4th season right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it just finished the 4th season, so we're getting ready to go into our 5th.
All right.
And then I think this is something that you watched over the weekend too, Castlevania.
Yep. Sure did.
On Netflix. It took me a while just to like watch 4 episodes. Wow. Between everything I had going on this weekend, trying to catch Spider-Man in the football camp, yep. and WWE's Great Balls of Fire. Mm. It took me a lot. After that took me a long time just to finish that.
Wow. Well, it was only 25 minutes per episode, roughly.
Yeah, but it was like still, I'm like, why is it taking me so long? I should be able to like bang all this out in 2 hours. Like, that's literally the length. That whole series is the length of a movie. Yeah. And it took me like all weekend, actually till this morning, just to finish it.
See, I finished it on Sunday morning. That was the first thing I did when
It's
I
a
woke up.
damn movie. It's the length of a movie.
Yeah. But what did you think of Castlevania on Netflix?
I liked it. I thought the storyline was good. I mean, 4 episodes was enough, but I would have liked to see more.
Oh, yeah.
It was enough to get the ball rolling for a potential season 2. It was that 90s animation though.
Yeah,
I really was looking at it and like some of those skipped shots that you had mentioned. And I was just like, wow. And the fight scenes were very like Iron Fist like.
Oh.
Slow. They thought they were slow to me. Like if it was an anime, then the fight scenes would have been like much more faster paced and much more exciting. They just seemed a little too slow to me.
Okay.
So and it just gave me the whole thing gave me that Spawn the animated series feel.
Oh yeah, I was thinking that when you mentioned the '90s animation style.
That was literally as I was watching it. That was literally like all I was thinking. That's how I really felt just watching this.
Yeah, because like when the characters was like dropped, you get the sense that they're like dropped frames of animation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That, and not to mention the whole darkness upon it, and the whole there's like a religious aspect of it,
Yeah.
which is very similar to Spawn. So that's part of that feel I got.
Yeah. I thought it was a pretty good showcase. That was like a nice proof of concept
Yeah.
of what Netflix can do with Castlevania. I was pretty pleased to see that it's a video game adaptation that's not terrible.
Yeah.
And that's like extremely slim pickings, though.
Well, Adi Shankar knew he was doing.
Yeah, I mean, it helps that he actually has some enthusiasm for the project.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. He went to high school here.
he did.
Yeah, he went to St. George's School in Middletown.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he went to school with my friend Kelly. Shout out to her.
Oh, that's what's up. Hey, Rhode Island doing big things, man. But yeah, I thought it was a good series. I mean, I did like the dark atmosphere of it. I liked
Of course you do.
well, I don't know what that means, but okay.
You like dark shit.
Hey, if look, listen, if the writing is good or entertaining enough, then I'm all in. It doesn't matter if it's light, dark, cheery, depressing. I'm all about a good story, man.
Yeah, especially if it's depressing.
No, yeah, that's an exaggeration, but
Track record shows. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, whatever.
Go ahead, keep going.
But I did like the fact that I thought that Dracula's portrayal was a little interesting. That he was a somewhat of a sympathetic villain.
right,
Yeah, because
right. But then I still would have liked to see. I would have liked to see more of him.
yeah,
It's like we only got him in the first 2 episodes, and that was it.
yeah, and then like in the last episode we see Alucard.
Yeah, his son. Know that. But then I do like Trevor's character.
Oh yeah, Trevor Belmont.
Yeah, I think his voice was a little too gruffy for such a youthful-looking character.
Well, I mean, it takes place in what 1400s. I guess people were hard living back then.
This is true. You wanted to drink. He was drinking like a fucking sailor.
Yeah, and Richard Armitage. I think he did a good job of voicing Trevor. He was what was his name? Thorin Oakenshield in the Hobbit movies.
Okay.
Yeah, so he brought that gruffness to the role. I thought he did he lent Trevor Belmont some interesting dimensions. The last disgraced member of his family. And he didn't want to be a hero.
Yeah, but I think they would have. I mean, no disrespect to Richard Armitage, but I think they would have. I think it would have been slightly better if they would have casted somebody with a much younger sounding voice. I mean, not as young as mine, but like, I don't know, just maybe. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head, but like somebody who sounds like they're in their 20s.
Yeah. Okay. Like someone like Charlie Hunnam. Well, he sounds young enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe so, but he has like a little gruff to him, but he's like in his mid-30s. So.
Yeah. I also liked the fact that Dracula was this rather somewhat sympathetic villain, and the church, or rather the bishop that was heading the church, was the real villain.
Yeah.
Like he basically used the cloth
Oh,
to.
snap. Shut up. What's up, Donovan? I used to go to school with him in Baltimore.
Oh, nice. Yeah, like how the bishop was using the cloth to oppress the villagers and use fear mongering to keep them like under his thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say that the Castlevania was actually a little more gruesome than I expected it to be.
Yeah, and the thing was too is like I did not play. I only like dabbled in the game when I got my NES Classic, so I really don't know too much of it.
Yeah.
But I think it was a pretty well portrayal. I'm not sure if it's actually tied into the game storylines itself, or is it its own, or if it's its own standalone story. But I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked the bloodiness, the gruesomeness that it had. Like I think it was very well. I think it was very well put together.
Oh yeah.
Minor flaws, but it was very well put together. I would recommend anybody to watch it.
Yeah, and the show is loosely based on a Castlevania 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it has certain.
What's going on, Kyle?
Yep. So it
Most
has,
diabolical hater this side of the Mississippi. He wears that tag with a badge of honor, by the way.
I bet he does. But yeah, it's loosely based on Castlevania 3, so it has some elements, some characters from the games,
I think
from the game.
Classic only has 1 and 2.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, season 2 is gonna come out, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they bring to the table. Hopefully, they'll step up their animation just a tad. But
I think so. If they see how successful this is, and then somebody will actually be able to throw a little more money into the project.
Yeah,
then they'll be able to be able to step up their animation.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Castlevania. It's on Netflix. 4 episodes, 2 hours in length. Yeah.
Not even, because they're probably like 20-something minutes.
Yeah, just under 2 hours. But yeah, I mean, worth checking out. And it's one of the few good video game adaptations on screen. But it's a very short list.
Yeah, I agree there.
Yeah.
So so that's pretty much me. What you been up to?
Oh, same deal. I was watching. I only watched the main event of Great Balls of Fire.
Oh, yeah, I gotta add that. Yeah, I watched that too.
Yeah, I know you watched the whole thing.
I actually came in late. By the time I got in, what was on? I want to say it was the Hardys match.
Yeah. How was the Hardys match? I only watched like the first 10 minutes.
Hardys match was good. I'll probably label that as the best match of the night. I didn't watch like I said, I came in late. But from what I saw, that was the best match of the night. Like I had a feeling like it was just gonna end in a tie, which prolonged Sheamus and Cesaro's tag team title reign. But though how like the Hardys were like so close by like 1 second, really just adds on to the drama of the match. I really told the story. I was like, oh, they were just so close. And then I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? This is gonna break them. This is gonna break them. Nope, didn't happen. They ran a little promo where Jeff said that, so people think that the Hardys may be obsolete. So I'm like, wait, hold on. And then Matt says we're stitched, we're bruised, maybe broken, and like everybody starts like going crazy, and then that was just it. So I mean, they're seriously like teasing the hell out of us.
Yeah.
With bringing in the broken gimmick. They probably got the rights to do it. They're just not saying shit.
I don't know. I mean, it's possible, but like from what I hear in the wrestling news, like I think TNA, formerly TNA, whatever they're calling themselves now.
Yeah.
I think it's Global Force Wrestling. Impact. They're still trying to give WWE a hard time from using the Hardys, Broken Hardys gimmick. From last I hear.
Yeah, they're trying to hold on to it as much as possible and trying to get all that they can. Remember, they are rivals. Yeah. They are rival companies, so it's like they're trying to hold on to that as much as possible, as much as they can.
Yeah, but I mean, what are they going to do with it exactly? Nothing. But
no, they want to hold on to it for money. It's literally, it kind of reminds me of Marvel's situation with the Fantastic Four. Mm-hmm. It's like Fox needs to let it go.
Yeah.
But they're just gonna hold on to it just as much as they can.
Yeah, that's like that situation. Even though every time they use the Fantastic Four property, it's always terrible.
They really just messed up. They messed up my freaking Fantastic Four.
Yeah, but
I gotta see how my dad feels about that. Cause my dad was the one who really put me on to the Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a Fantastic Four fan back in the day, you know, when they had when they had the comics and stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, I got to ask him to see what he thinks.
Okay. But yeah, hopefully we'll see the broken gimmick soon.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. One thing I did want to mention, too, in the Great Balls of Fire was how Alexa Bliss faked an injury.
Mm-hmm.
Where she made it really look like her arm was like broken, but it turns out she was just double jointed.
Oh, word?
Like I wasn't even paying attention. I wasn't even paying too much attention. I was doing something. I think I was like tweeting or something because I was live tweeting.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the computer, looking at the tweets, and the next thing you know, like I see her arm just like out, looks broken, and I'm screaming myself, oh, whoa. What just happened? Da, da, da. And then, you know, she fakes it, and I literally had to give her props for that.
Oh, wow.
And even then, I was like, Alexa Bliss double jointed, huh?
I mean, hey,
Yeah.
that means that
My mind's going to the gutter in that one.
no, it just means that, you know, added flexibility in the ring that makes her harder to defeat, a more challenging opponent. I got you.
Sure.
Yeah, so I know Sasha won that match by count out, so they're
Yeah.
going to stretch that rivalry out for a little bit.
Yeah.
What did you think about the main event, Brock Lesnar versus Samoa Joe for the Universal Championship?
I expected more.
Yeah.
It just pisses me off that it's like, yo, Brock Lesnar is a NCAA champion, a former UFC champion,
Yep.
but only has 2 moves.
I mean, well, he has more, but he just doesn't give a shit. He
Just
said
does
as
2
much.
moves, the German suplexes and
The F5.
the F5. That's
Yeah.
it. And he still doesn't have the best German suplexes in the business. To me, it was always Chris Benoit.
Yeah, but we don't talk about Chris Benoit.
They don't talk about Chris Benoit. Okay. No, I see. It's spelled KRSPENWAH.
Chris Benoit. Wow. It's funny, like, whenever I see like videos like Botchamania or like other wrestling memes, like they'll replace Chris Benoit's image with like Stevie Richards or Hardcore Holly at WrestleMania 20.
Yeah, I mean, John. Did you hear John Cena's
John Cena.
John Cena's reply because he was at some convention and they asked why the WWE does not acknowledge Chris Benoit. And it was I wish I had wrote it down, but he actually was like saying that, listen, what we do in the ring is one thing, but what we do outside the ring is another. And sometimes, like even though he was great, that his outside actions do overshadow us. So you basically have to be held accountable for your actions.
Oh yeah.
So that's why you know, they really don't acknowledge him.
Oh yeah.
So it was much more detailed. It was much more detailed than that. I'm kind of paraphrasing.
Yeah.
I think the best example that was used, but that was said, was by CM Punk, where he was at a San Diego Comic-Con and somebody asked him the same thing. Well, they actually asked why the WWE is trying to erase him from history. And they're actually saying, no, they're not trying to erase him from history. You can't really take away his accomplishments. But it's like, because of his actions from his last days of living, that it wouldn't feel right for the WWE to promote him.
Absolutely. That's true.
So,
yeah, I mean, he'll never be in the Hall of Fame. That's for damn sure.
Unfortunately, no, and it sucks because he was such a great wrestler. I remember, like, back when I was wrestling, Chris Benoit was one of the wrestlers I would study, and I remember like watching the documentary DVD that he had, and I remember I was watching with my little cousin, and they're going towards the end where they, you know, was talking about how great he is and all that, and we just kind of looked, and it was after the whole tragedy, and we just kind of looked at each other and just shook our head, and it's just like, wow, like that whole thing has just been, that everything that they're saying about it, everything is just thrown away.
Oh yeah, he
just completely wasted, and it's highly unfortunate.
Oh yeah, he destroyed his own legacy.
Yeah,
forever.
His son's actually trying to get into the business.
I heard, yeah.
Yeah, have you seen what his son looks like?
I think I have, yeah.
It's scary how much he looks like him.
Yeah, I mean, like if he even tries to get into WWE, like every fan's gonna have that image of his dad in front of their minds.
Oh, of course, but yeah, he's probably gonna have to be billed under another name And even then, it's going to be like, with the internet, we know who you are.
Yeah. So like they'd have to like really lean into whatever gimmick that he comes up with or they come up with, so he can actually succeed.
He probably has to wear a mask or something.
Ironic, didn't Benoit wear a mask?
Yeah, when he was the Pegasus Kid.
Yeah, how's that for irony if he has to go that route?
Yeah.
But yeah, like Lesnar, he's a guy who, getting back to Lesnar and Joe, I mean, obviously Lesnar doesn't give a shit about, putting on a proper wrestling match. I mean, he even said as much. And like he's like the biggest, I mean, Brock Lesnar is the greatest example of how WWE is the best part-time employer in the country because he gets paid like more than most of the full-timers to wrestle like 5 matches a year, if we even get that many.
Yeah.
But I will say that Lesnar and Joe, I thought it was enjoyable for what it was for all 6 minutes of it. I thought Joe really took it to Lesnar.
Definitely did. Like Joe had the upper end, but then just a couple of Germans. And an F5, and that's it?
I'll say like 6 or 7 Germans. But like I think he got lucky with that F5 because Joe put him in the coquina clutch.
Right.
And then Lesnar, out of desperation, hit the F5 out of nowhere. He got lucky and pinned him. So I will say that for Lesnar, it wasn't an easy victory. Like Joe made him fight for it. He had to make him earn that.
Right. And then not to mention, did you see the Roman Reigns causing vehicular manslaughter?
Was that the ambulance match with Braun Strowman?
Oh my God!
Now, interestingly, with that, we'll get to that in a second. But I will say that I think WWE could have gotten more people talking if Joe were the one to actually take the Universal title from Lesnar. I thought that would have been a more interesting outcome. But Lesnar, they're still trying to somehow build Lesnar versus Reigns. I don't know if they're going to stretch it to WrestleMania, but I know they still want to put that match together.
Well, aren't they doing something for SummerSlam?
Yeah, they're trying to. Like,
I didn't pay too much attention to Raw.
Yeah, on Raw, basically Kurt Angle set Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns for the #1 contendership for the Universal Championship. So I think that match is next week. So if it is Samoa Joe and Lesnar at SummerSlam, that would be an interesting main event. But if it's Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, then I guess that's like WWE's way of trying to get that match out of the way because they wanted to build that for WrestleMania 34, which is weird because it's like you're building 2 men who beat up a much older dude who should have retired 10 years ago. That's your build. That's the best way you're gonna build that match. But anyway,
you love throwing these Undertaker's names, don't you?
It was right there. I mean, that's how they're building it. Don't blame me. I'm not the one booking it.
Yeah, but you still didn't. You didn't have to throw that in there. You would be in a dick.
I know I was.
Okay. Oh yeah, Aries joined and he says 3 things.
What?
D, B, Z.
I don't know what that is.
You're damn straight right, Aries.
Hey, with the DBZ.
Shout out to Ashley for buying me this shirt, by the way.
Yeah, with DBZ, I will say that the game does look impressive, as all those. Who's developing the Axis games? I believe. Same developers of Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear. Looks impressive, but hey, you know what? It's not for me.
I don't know, because Guilty Gear is fire.
Okay.
I used like 1 character, and I was like dominating at one of the Freddy Cups.
Nice, but yeah, Great Balls of Fire, man. Anything else? Any other wrestling news or whatever, or thoughts?
And Aries says Arc System works.
There you
plebeian.
go. There you go. Arc System works. What did he say?
Arc System works. You plebeian.
Oh, plebeian. Yeah.
Plebeian. Excuse me.
Yeah. Fuck you too. But what was I gonna say? One other thing. I still want to see if they're building a match for SummerSlam, or not even at SummerSlam at some point. I still want to see Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar. There's something about.
Really?
Yeah, I know that the size differential is enormous, but keep in mind that they can build it as Finn Balor being the first Universal Champion. He's never lost the belt. He had to forfeit it. And it's like the ultimate David versus Goliath match.
No, I see what you mean, but
the Demon versus the Beast. There could be an excellent build right there, a good story. I'm not saying that Balor might beat him, but it would be a very intriguing match.
It could be. So, what the hell have you been up to? Other than that.
Well, yesterday, was the best time of the one of the best times of the year.
Oh shit! Here we go.
Barnes and Noble's annual July Criterion Collection sale began yesterday, July 11th. So I was there. At 10 a.m. Right, and I was there. I was thinking, you know what? I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna get the first crack at the good picks. I walked in and I saw 3 other dudes there, and I saw one guy. He had a stack yay high of Criterions. I caught a quick glance. Most of them I already have, but I was a little well, because I have so many.
You felt some type of way because somebody like.
Well, it was weird. Like I felt some type of way just on a small level because I was like, damn, that could be me. Actually, that was me last year and the year before. But then on the other hand,
let somebody else get a chance.
Yeah, and on the other hand, I was like, you know
all
what?
3 of you guys could have like had a field day at that Criterion sale.
Yeah, we could have. I mean, but you know, I looked at him with a little glimmer of pride too, a little glimmer. I was like, you know what? You go, man. That's
because there's like one other person that actually knows about Criterion movies other than yourself.
Well, I would say like a handful of people, at least at the Barnes and Noble I went to.
Okay, so 5.
Yeah. So as a matter of fact, you know what? Why don't you hold on the fort real quick? I'm gonna get the Criterions that I picked up. I should have brought those up. I'm excited, man.
Woo! That is the most athleticism I've ever seen Victor display. Shut up. And I mean, we even like play volleyball every year at the beach, and he's not even that athletic.
Yeah, fuck volleyball. Oh, man.
And right, Aris said it.
What do you say?
No one cares.
Everyone cares, Aris.
Yeah, there's only like 5 of you guys who care about Criterion movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay, maybe what? You, Dollar Store Films, and Criterion Correction Podcast.
There's more.
What, 2 more? Name the other 2. Y'all probably can't even hear them.
I had 6 of them, man. Oh, fuck, I should have prepared for this.
Yeah, he was highly unprepared. So, damn, I'm ready to get into the news and headlines. Oh, he's back.
Well, as you know, I had to pick out some films for the Criterion sale, and I have 5 of them here. The 6th one I just could not retrieve, but I'm happy to report that I was rather conservative this year.
You know, I did see that picture, and I thought you was just posting pictures of your movies like you normally do, and I was just like, whatever.
Yeah, but yeah, I picked out a few films from this Criterion sale.
Iris says, "I want to hear Carl talk about Joanna Man instead."
Fuck Joanna Man. But anyway, here are the films that I picked out.
Mad because that movie's basically Tootsie.
Yo, listen, no, Tootsie is a superior film than Joanna Man.
It was funny that was on the other night too. But hold on, look.
What?
You really cannot tell me that Joanna Man wasn't based off of Tootsie. It's literally the same thing, except that it was about basketball.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I give you that pretty much, but you gotta admit, Tootsie was a way better movie. It was funnier. It was better written, better acting.
This is the same shit.
It ain't the same shit. It's the same.
Literally the same shit.
It's a similar premise, but it ain't the same shit.
It's the exact same premise, except that one takes place in sports, the other one takes place in theater.
All right, look, I'm saying it's a similar premise, but I'm saying in terms of quality, you got to say that Tootsie is a superior film.
I probably only watch either one at one time, and that's it. It's like they're just like okay, they're both good. Like Joanna Man's enjoyable for like what it was. It's just a little, it's a little. Hey, I got 2 hours to kill. Joanna Man's on. I'll throw that on, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, it's a fluff movie, but these films are not fluff movies. So the films that I picked from the Criterion sale, first up, Blood Simple. It's the debut feature of the Coen brothers. Really good crime thriller, very dark. You know,
just how you like them.
Yeah, but it's a really great film debut by the Coens. Check this one out.
Give me a 2017 review of Friday instead.
Whatever. I got the Asphalt Jungle, film noir by John Huston, one of the great American directors. Right here, bam! You should check it out. His Girl Friday, Cary Grant feature right there. I haven't seen this one, but I've always wanted to. I'm familiar with
You
it.
done watched all these movies already?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But this one's really good. From what I hear, Tampopo. It's a really good Japanese ramen western, as it's described. Some of the most delicious footage I've seen of ramen noodles I've seen on film.
Yeah.
It's a delightful movie. I love it.
Okay.
And Joan Crawford's Oscar winner, Mildred Pierce. Another classic right here.
And what was the sixth one?
The sixth one was Punch Drunk Love.
You would buy that fucking movie.
Hey, listen, Punch Drunk Love is Adam Sandler's best movie. And that's not really saying much, to be honest.
It was not.
Yeah, it was.
Happy Gilmore?
Listen,
Billy Madison?
Okay, listen.
Hell, even The Longest Yard was better than Punch Drunk Love.
Fuck you. But anyway, listen. Happy Gilmore was funny. I mean, Adam Sandler's funniest movies were in the 90s.
Grown Ups was good.
Oh, fuck
Grown
off.
Ups was entertaining.
Oh, fuck right off, you pisser. Listen, Grown Ups is shit.
Grown Ups it's not the best, but Grown Ups was
No.
freaking enjoyable.
No, but Punch Drunk Love.
I have fun watching Grown Ups. Keyword, fun.
Yeah, but it's a shit movie. You have fun watching shit movies. But anyway, Punch Drunk Love is Adam Sandler's best. Why? Because it's artful. It's a quirky love story.
Artsy fartsy.
It's not artsy fartsy, all right?
You just said it was artful, so what the fuck?
It's artful. I mean, artsy fartsy is like a pejorative. You're like, oh, artsy fartsy. Oh, I don't like movie. You know who people who use artsy fartsy? Oh, I don't like movies that challenge me. I don't like movies that don't appeal to me beyond the surface level. That's why I'm going to use artsy fartsy to mask my insecurities, because I can't approach those movies on any level.
We don't want to be challenged. We just want to be entertained and have fun.
That's simplistic thinking, man.
I don't care. We want to have fun.
You can have fun and also think at the same time, can't you?
You can, but in that case, I don't want to. We literally just don't want to. We want to go to the movies and be like, this is enjoyable. We do enough of that with the superhero movies. We do some thinking.
Oh, what kind of thinking? Oh, I'd love to hear this.
Looking for Easter eggs and, how things tie into, like, the source materials and all that. We do enough thinking as it is. Don't get it twisted. How is this going to turn into who? How is this tie into the story? How to the big storylines?
Okay, that's maybe one small thing.
No, that's pretty well enough.
Come on, man. I mean,
you literally have no rebuttal for that one.
Yes, I do have a rebuttal, because there's a lot more than just Easter eggs. You want to think about a film that just not only hits you on a surface gut entertainment level. Yeah, that's one thing, but you also want a film that also enriches you. It makes you look at the world a certain way, just a little bit. Makes you learn a little something. Makes you think about some themes. Makes you think about some issues.
Adam Sandler's not all about that. Adam Sandler's movies aren't all about that. Adam Sandler makes movies for people who just want to say, "Hey, let's go to the movies and check this out, and let's have some fun."
Yeah, he makes movies for chronic masturbators and morons and simpletons. Obviously.
He just wants to have fun. Let's make a fun movie, and that's all. That's it.
You can have a fun movie and also think at the same time. And Punch Drunk Love exemplifies that.
Sure, tomato, I guess.
Let's call the whole thing off. But
anyways,
let's get to the news and items of interest. But anyway,
do you have anything else you was up to? I mean,
well,
I had a busy weekend. I'm sure you did.
Oh, well, one other thing. I started rewatching, in preparation for next Sunday, I started rewatching Season 6 on Blu-ray of Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I can't wait.
So how's the HBO Go thing going?
I'm still working on some logins. I, asked one person, and they didn't have HBO.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, all right. And I just haven't really thought about I had to go to work. That's why.
Now.
And I just...
But the real question is, Carl, are you really that cheap to not spend $14.99 per month?
I don't have cable.
You don't have to have cable for HBO Go. HBO Now, HBO Go, you have to have cable.
But I have HBO Go on the PlayStation. That's why.
Well, HBO Now is the same thing. Right. HBO Now, you don't have.
You have to have cable logins as well, because they ask you what's your cable provider and stuff.
I mean, with HBO Now, you can just buy it.
All right, I'll give it a shot. But then I'll come back when we get into our Game of Thrones discussion, which will be next week.
Yeah. Yep. And I will spoil the first episode season premiere whether you watch it or not.
Oh yeah, there will be a spoiler warning.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, HBO Now, $14.99 per month. It does not require a cable package.
Okay.
That's why it's there.
Is it a PlayStation app?
Yes.
Oh, okay, then cool.
That's why I got it.
All right. I thought you already had it though.
Uh,
I thought you had HBO.
I had HBO Now last year, and then like for Game of Thrones season 6, but then I canceled it as soon as the season was over. But then I was like, you know what? There's too much good shit on HBO.
There is some good stuff on it. That's
Yeah.
why I kind of miss having it.
Yeah. So
And not to mention, there's a series that I want to get into. It's called The Defiant Ones.
oh yeah,
They're
Yeah.
doing they're profiling Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine.
yeah.
So that's something I really want to get into, being a hip hop guy.
Oh yeah.
So, and I think there's some other profiles that they're doing as well.
Yeah. So yeah, all that and more for $14.99 per month. Carl, don't be a cheapskate.
It's not being a cheapskate.
Yeah, does not require a cable package.
All right, we'll see.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so we got some news and items of interest this week. First of which, in the wrestling world, Austin Aries has been released by the WWE. According to the Wrestling Observer, Aries requested his release from the company because he was unhappy with being stuck in the cruiserweight division. Can't blame him. And he felt that he could do more with the WWE. Reports have also said that Aries had a bad attitude backstage, which made it easier for WWE officials to let him go after he asked for his release. And Austin's desire to leave WWE was understandable because, let's face it, the cruiserweight division is a dead division at this point. Which and that's no slight to the cruiserweights in the division because they are talented, but
they do great. They have great matches. They're just in a wrong environment.
Yeah.
If they would film 205 Live at Full Sail the same way they do NXT,
Oh, yeah.
it would be a much bigger show.
Absolutely, and the wrestlers would get the due props that they deserve.
Exactly, and they had, like, for example, Cedric Alexander had a I Quit match with Noam Dar last night.
Yeah,
It was a great match.
oh, was it?
It was a very good match, but it's like the after SmackDown. Yeah, not to mention they do it after SmackDown, so everybody's already like burnt out.
Yeah, people just want to leave.
Yeah, they're like ready. They're ready to go and stuff. So they're staying up an extra 45 minutes just to just to catch those extra shows. Not to mention, well, they have what? Then they have like dark match shows afterwards. So
Yeah.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot for SmackDown starting at 8:00.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and for Austin Aries, man, he was way too talented to just be stuck in the cruiserweight division. I mean, he was a main eventer in TNA. He was like the former world champion there.
I believe so. Yeah.
And I think he was a world champion in Ring of Honor, if I believe. I believe so.
But I also did hear stories that like Austin Aries wasn't really like the most pleasant person to be around with. Like if he does like autograph signings and stuff, or like say like if you just, I know that people would like catch if they catch him in the street and they ask you for an autograph, he's really not the most pleasant person to be around with.
Yeah.
So that could be one thing. Like I ain't seen him in no up down down episodes yet.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if that's true, then yeah, that definitely lent well to his heel character.
Yeah.
And I know he made a mark in NXT for sure. Austin, his career, he was on the shelf for a year after a wayward Omoayo knee to the face by Nakamura. And then he was on a announced team for a while on the main roster.
He actually was a good announcer too.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he does have good mic skills. But yeah, it's too bad, WWE didn't, give him, at least put him in the upper mid card, at least like Intercontinental U.S. title level.
Right.
But hey, who knows? Maybe he'll go back to the Indies. Maybe he'll go to Japan. I mean, wherever he's better
He can
utilized.
get work. He can definitely get work.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Especially like post WWE, like he can definitely get work.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that, and also some other news. AJ Styles actually beat Kevin Owens for the U.S. Championship at Madison Square Garden's house show last Friday, which is a pretty rare title change for a non-title televised event.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. Diesel beat Bob Backlund at a house show for the WWE title.
Oh yeah.
Back in like '95.
Yeah. And like those non-televised title changes are rare. I think the last one in WWE was NXT, where Samoa Joe beat Finn Balor for the NXT Championship in Lowell, Mass. Which was pretty surprising. I mean, with Madison Square Garden. I mean, that's like WWE's original home, so you got to do it big there.
Yeah, I just felt like okay, AJ Styles had already like won the world title, but then now he's getting bumped to the U.S. title. I was like, to me, I missed the grind that you would see. Like you would see everybody just start from the bottom and just work their way up. For example, with Bret Hart, he was a tag team, then he moved on to the Intercontinental, then to the world title, and then even when he went to WCW, like they gave him the U.S. and then he worked his way up to the world. Even though by that time he won the world title, WCW was a complete shit show.
Yeah. True.
And then you even saw the same thing with Shawn Michaels, like tag team with the Rockers. Then he had various tag teams. Won the Intercontinental title, held that down. Then he, moved on up to the world title. So you was able to see the grind, and instead of just as soon as they come in from developmental, they automatically have a world title shot.
Yeah, I mean it's true for a few, like Baron Corbin as one, like for Money in the Bank and whatnot.
Furman's here, and he says, "Shut up, Victor. That's my normal intro."
Yeah, fuck you, Furman. That's my normal. Nice to meet you. But yeah, welcome to the show. So yeah, I mean, I will say, I get what you're saying. I mean, but with AJ, for a wrestler of his caliber, and even Kevin Owens, I mean, there's nowhere to go because they've already been at the top in WWE. So like, where do they go from there? They can elevate the mid card titles at the very least. Like,
that's true. Hopefully that's the plan.
Yeah, absolutely. And then plus, it's only a matter of time before Nakamura gets the gold around his waist.
But give him the mid card. Just give him the mid card. Like, let us want it. Like, let us be part of that journey with him. Man.
Yeah, but I mean, if Jinder Mahal, jobber as he was, can be a champion, I mean, they got to give it to Nakamura on principle. What's up?
Furman asked, "Did you guys hear about that new DBZ game coming out?" I'm very much looking forward to it. Firm.
I hope when that game comes out, I will say as a quick aside, I hope that game disappoints the fuck out of y'all.
It's not gonna happen.
I hope that game is just so overhyped.
Not gonna happen. We're not gonna get a No Man's Sky out of this Dragon Ball game.
Oh man, I can't wait to see.
By the way, speaking of No Man's Sky, remember that time we went Pokemon? We was Pokemon Go hunting.
Yeah.
And then I was asking you about a game, but I forgot the name. I was like able to picture it, but I just couldn't even like get it out.
Yeah.
That was that game.
Oh, that's what it was?
That was the game I was talking about.
Oh man, yeah. No Man's Sky was one of the.
Even Donovan said nope.
We shall see. We shall see. But some other news here. Castlevania, speaking of video games, has already been renewed for Season 2 on Netflix. And the Netflix renewed the series last Friday, which is when Castlevania came out. And Season 2 will have 8 episodes this time instead of
That's
just
good
4.
enough. That's great. That's just a good chunk. Victor, I watched Raw because you recommend it. You're an ass.
Oh, you watched the Raw movie? Who said that?
Victor Furman.
Nice. I hope you loved it as much as I did. Well, not that I loved it. I actually really appreciated it. You should watch it.
We'll see.
Oh, come on, man.
We'll see.
You gotta.
We'll see.
Oh, it's a depraved movie. But Adi Shankar, he did announce that he's also working on an Assassin's Creed anime series for Netflix.
If it's just as good as Castlevania, then I'll be up for it.
Yeah, I mean, Assassin's Creed is, it has rich story potential, even though most of the games are kind of on the story aspect. But you know what? And the live action movie I heard was terrible, which I haven't even bothered to watch.
I don't know anybody who actually watched it. Last I checked, I think it got like 17% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, might have been lower. I know John Haponic told me that he watched it, and he was...
John Haponic watches anything awful.
Yeah,
he loves it.
Oh, he does. I mean, he's a DCEU fan. I mean, except for Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was great. But yeah, hey, bring on season 2, man.
Go ahead and bring on Assassin's Creed. If Adi Shankar is behind it, then I'll be all for it.
Hey, yeah. Other video game news here. There's been a new patch which has been released for Horizon Zero Dawn. So Horizon Zero Dawn this patch includes a new game plus mode, so you can transfer all of your items and equipment and levels to the new game.
Okay.
Which is awesome. Although the level cap is still at 50, and there's also some updated weapons and outfits and an ultra hard difficulty mode, which once you set the game to ultra hard, you cannot change the difficulty back again. So
Fuck that. They're trying to make people rage quit. Well, at least me.
well, hey, you know what? I'll probably dabble in ultra hard, but I do want to play New Game Plus because it's a fantastic game.
Yeah,
And
I need to get that game too. I've only played it for like one day when I Twitch streamed it that one time, and that game is amazing, like visually stunning. So I just never gotten around to get it.
Yeah, it's one of the best, one of the most.
I probably would put it as one of the. I would give it a game of the year candidate.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And plus, it's one of the most gorgeous 1080p games I've ever seen.
Would be better in 4K.
4K. Save your money. 4K is a waste of money at this point. But yeah, I will be playing New Game Plus, and plus I have the Ultra Armor.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's that. Some other news here. Ava DuVernay, the director of Selma and the Queen Sugar television series, she's going to write and direct a limited series about the Central Park 5. Are you familiar with the Central Park 5?
No, not really, honest truth.
DuVernay's she's going to be doing a limited series on Netflix, and I don't know if it's going to be a documentary series or a dramatic series, but the Central Park 5, it was a 1989 case in which this white woman was jogging in Central Park and she was assaulted and raped, and these 5 teenage males, they were 4 black kids and 1 Hispanic guy, they were arrested and charged with the crime, and they served 6 to 13 years in prison. However, their confessions to that crime were actually coerced by the cops. They had nothing to do with that woman being assaulted.
Okay, I think I did come across that story.
Yeah, and and the only reason why they were released from prison was around 2002 was because some other inmate actually admitted to the crime, and DNA evidence actually confirmed that other person did it, and not those 5 kids. So afterwards, the Central Park 5, they were released, and they actually sued New York City for about. How much did they sue for? They sued New York City for $41 million, and they fought New York for like a decade, and then Mayor Bill De Blasio actually accepted their settlement for that same amount in 2014. So they have to fight a decade after getting out of prison just to get their justice.
Yeah, and I want you to forgive me for laughing, but something was written on the Facebook Live.
What?
That made me laugh. So.
Okay, so you're not laughing about the Central Park 5. I hope not.
No.
Yeah, you better not. What's up?
Furman says the most famous gangbang.
What the fuck is he talking about? What is he referring to?
The Central Park 5.
That's not funny, dude.
It's not, but it was just like, why did he say that?
What the fuck is wrong with you, Furman? That's not funny. Anyway.
You gotta know Furman's sense of humor.
Yeah, sometimes you take it over the limit, man. Use common sense, dude. But anyway, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this documentary, and or dramatic series. I don't know what she's planning for it, but yeah, it's a fascinating and also frustrating story too.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
About racial injustice, and also there's a documentary that's also out for it called The Central Park 5, directed by Ken Burns, which is excellent too. You should check that out too. Yeah.
All right.
So I'll have you. Yeah.
All right, I'll take the next one.
Yeah.
Okay. Plans for the next Marvel Cinematic Universe phased. Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Suck it, John Aponic. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige revealed that 2019's Avengers 4, May 4th, will conclude the 22-movie arc that started with 2008's Iron Man. The sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming, which is scheduled for July 3rd, 2019, will begin the next story arc for the MCU. Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury. I kind of wanted to yell it Dave Chappelle style. Sam Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury will return in Captain Marvel in 2019. He was last seen in Captain America: Civil War.
Yep.
Many of the MCU actors' contracts are expiring, such as Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Jeremy Renner, and Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah. So yeah. What do you think?
I'm all for Marvel movies, so I'm a Marvel guy. I'm
Of
all
course.
for it. I love Marvel.
Mm-hmm. You stand.
Fucking, I'm all for it.
Yeah, you stand hard for Marvel.
I do.
22 movies, man. I mean,
The thing is, you don't even realize it was that many, but it really is.
yeah, since 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep them going. Shit. Like it.
I am curious, though. I mean, I know that this current arc of the MCU is going to end with Avengers 4.
Correct.
And it's going to start off with Spider-Man. But with that said, where do you go from there? I mean, I mean, what I mean is like
Infinity War. Well, in the the Infinity Wars.
like post Infinity War, you got Spider-Man. So I don't know if they're still going to use.
There was a Secret Wars that happened back in the 80s. They can use that, or back in the 90s with Onslaught. Now, even though with Thanos is gonna be hot, like okay, the budget for this Avengers movie is $500 million. Onslaught is gonna be $1 billion.
I mean, I could see them doing an onslaught arc, but I'm saying that like once they lead the next MCU phase with a Spider-Man Homecoming sequel, like are they still going to use like the Captain America, Iron Man characters? Are they going to recast them, or are they just going to like leave them to the wayside?
There's a lot of things that they can do. I mean, they could like I know for a lot in the comics that like Tony Stark is pretty much like a hologram, so they can use that. They can, in a way, maybe if they're gonna recast him, they can probably euthanize him. Oh damn, Onslaught is X-Men property. Shit.
Damn. Well, never mind.
Who knows? Maybe 20th Century Fox can sell X-Men back to the Marvel?
Well, yeah, Fox is not.
Can a brother wish?
Well, Fox is not letting X-Men go.
No, they're not. Especially they're feeling themselves after Deadpool and Logan.
Oh yeah, I mean, unless they can try to negotiate a
joint deal like they did with Spider-Man, it could happen.
Yeah.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
But damn, I forgot what I was saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, they could probably euthanize Tony Stark. Sam Wilson does become Captain America. They can bring in Riri Williams for Iron Man.
You know what? That actually. Okay. That could make sense.
There's a lot of things that they can do.
Maybe that could make sense because like with the diverse reskins of those characters in the comics, maybe that's how they're going to set them up for the film version. So that's their workaround. So once Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans and all those other actors leave those roles, they can replace them with like the female or like the people of color equivalents,
right,
and continue those roles on from there. I mean, which I'm sure would be both praised and criticized. I mean,
it definitely will.
I mean, for me, like
can't have one without the other.
Right. But for me, I think it would be a little too. Like I'm not sure how well that would fly on a film version with those characters on screen. Like it's Robert Downey Jr.'s out. But we got Riri Williams now. Now she's the new Iron Man or Iron Heart. And then we got female Thor. Great, because Chris Hemsworth stopped. And all this. I don't know.
But it all depends. But it has to be written well. If they have the right writers behind it, it could still work. If they have the right people, the right team behind it, it could work.
It could.
I mean, they're not just gonna get some like Batman versus Superman schmucks.
Well, true.
Shout outs to John.
But
I'm picking on John right now.
I mean, like I could see them. I could see Marvel doing that, but at the same time, it's like I mean, on the one hand, I would want Marvel to create more original characters, but from a business standpoint and from an artistic standpoint, I can see why they would still use Iron Man and Thor and Captain America because A, they're established properties,
right,
and B, if you're an artist working for Marvel or even DC, once you create a wholly original character, it becomes Marvel's property, and you can't do anything with them. So it's like I can see why a lot of artists would leave their original creations close to their chest until they leave Marvel and do something else.
Right. Todd McFarlane, for example.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you know what? I think there's some potential in that with that idea, but they have to do it very carefully.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah.
Joan Lee, the wife of Stan Lee, passed away last Thursday in Los Angeles at the age of 95. Joan and Stan Lee were married for for 69 years.
Yeah.
If that ain't relationship goals, I don't know what is. And Stan Lee was still in love with that woman from then and now, and like, man, I honestly, when I read that, my heart went for Stan. My heart hurt for Stan Lee.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
When Stan hurts, we hurt.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a living legend, and I hear his wife was also a voice actress too. She did some roles. Yeah. But yeah, hey, 95 years, man. That's a full life right there, and then some.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep. And then we also have another unfortunate headline here. Nelson Ellis, the True Blood star, he died last Saturday from heart failure at the age of 39.
Yeah, that was a shocker.
Yeah, way too soon. Much too young.
Yeah.
Yeah, much too young. I've never seen True Blood, but I've heard some good things about it.
I watched like maybe a couple of episodes. I wanted to get into. I did like it, but I just I got sidetracked by other things. And yeah, he played his role very well. So I can understand why a lot of fans are like hurt by this tragic, surprising loss. So
yeah.
God rest your soul, Nelson.
Yeah, indeed. And then we got a few more headlines here. Lucy Liu, remember her? Yeah. She's actually going to be directing the season 2 premiere of Luke Cage.
I'm all for it. Go ahead.
Hey, I didn't know she got some directorial chops.
Why not?
I'm for it. Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen her. I mean, the last thing I've seen Lucy Liu in was Kill Bill, Volume 1.
Yeah. I've seen a recent picture of her. She does not age as well.
Of course, Asian don't crack, as they say.
Technically, black don't crack. But
same difference. But anyway, I should know. But yeah, I mean, Lucy Liu. I think she also did Elementary. It was like a TV show, like a Hitchcock.
Yeah, she was on that show too as well.
Yeah, or Sherlock Holmes thing, I should say. But yeah, hey, I'm all for it. Also, Christopher Nolan, another great director, he's actually remastering the Dark Knight trilogy in 4K.
See, there you go. Got to get on it.
Well, Nolan, he's directly involved in the remastering of his films, and he has stated that 4K is the best way to get home viewers closer to the 6K resolution that the Dark Knight trilogy was filmed on. Nolan did not provide a release date for these remasters, but he says that they are still a long ways out. Hey, you know what? I have the Blu-ray set of the films, and they look impeccable. I mean, with a 4K remaster, I'm not sure. I don't know if he's going to re-release them on regular Blu-ray just with a remastered picture. If so, that'd be cool for those who haven't seen The Dark Knight for whatever reason. Would it compel me to get a 4K TV and an Ultra HD player? No. It has to be the industry standard before I even think about doing that. But hey, you know what? That's what's up. What?
That's it. I thought you was gonna get into a anti 4K rant.
No, I mean, like I said, as far as 4K goes, there's nowhere near enough content to justify a purchase of 4K devices. So unless it becomes an industry standard, 1080p is just fine.
Okay, and you actually have a question on our Facebook Live.
Oh, what's up?
Furman wants to know, Victor, what did you think about the announcement of esports Overwatch League? Boston got a team owned by Robert Kraft.
Robert Kraft, who's Robert?
He owns the Patriots.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Okay, my money will never go to him, but
well, I don't.
I mean, more power to the Overwatch players.
Yeah,
like, I'm not gonna knock it.
Yeah, and I shouldn't say fuck Robert Kraft. I mean that was my anti-Patriots instinctive reaction. Okay. But hey, that's cool. I mean, you can get. I mean, I will say that this is based in Boston, right? This Overwatch team, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Well, they'll be the most obnoxious Overwatch fan base in the country. So there's that. Congratulations. I mean, I'm not an Overwatch player, so I wouldn't know.
What's going on, Jamil?
And last headline here, Stranger Things Season 2 is coming out on Netflix October 27th.
What day does that fall on?
27th? I believe that's on
Friday, I want to see. Mike D from Hot 106, what up?
Yeah.
That's got to be, a Friday? If it's a Friday, I'll be so pissed.
Why?
Because I don't want to spend my birthday in the house watching Stranger Things.
Well, you don't have to. I mean, it's on Netflix. You can watch it any time. Or here's an idea. You can have Stranger Things Season 2 playing in the background, right, at whatever venue you decide to host your costume party.
I thought that would probably be on a Saturday, but
right.
My actual Friday, I don't want to spend it watching Stranger Things. I'll probably wake up.
Well, you can have a Stranger Things costume themed party.
But then I won't be able to pay attention to the show.
Well, that's true. But I mean, you got to prioritize. I mean, Stranger Things is the real priority here. I think we both know that.
You really need to like this mic stand upside down.
But yeah, I mean, the first season was really cool.
Yeah.
And hey, I'm expecting good things from part 2.
I am too. They're saying it takes place a year later.
Yep, I believe so.
Oh.
And I've seen a screenshot of season 2. Apparently, the four kids, they're dressed in Ghostbusters garb.
Yeah, and then there's actually a movie poster out. I did say this, so it's going to be up on our social media site soon.
Yeah, so it's going to be like more of that 80s nostalgia that show thrives on.
It worked. I mean, the story takes place in the 80s, so
Well,
I mean, you
yeah.
can't.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, you can't have like a iPhone in the 80s.
Well, that's true. I mean, you can't
Shout
be
out to the Tupac movie.
That's just unbelievable. But I hope my hope is that in season 2 we can see the return of Barb.
You know, they never did say if she died or not.
That is true. That is true. Maybe she's somewhere in that
The Upside Down.
the Upside Down, and maybe she'll come back as like a demon or something. I don't know.
That would be so dope.
Yeah.
That would be so dope.
Yeah. More cosplay ideas right there. Hey.
Oh, yeah. Some of the best cosplayers I saw were of 11.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It was dudes playing 11.
Oh yeah.
There was one celebrity who did it. I took a picture of it, and it's on our pages, but you have to go back on our Instagram.
Gotcha. So yeah, that's all the news and headlines there, and we got our main event here. We're talking.
Just throwing shit in your house.
Yeah, that's all right. We got the main event here. We got this underground art house film called Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the third, well, I want to say second official reboot of the Spider-Man franchise. Previously, we had the Amazing Spider-Man series, but yeah, we ain't gonna talk about that.
They were good. They were good. They were actually on Sunday. Made my work day go by so fast.
Well, you're the only person who would say Amazing Spider-Man 2 was any good, but
It was enjoyable.
all right. Well, no. Well, I won't argue with you there, but I mean, tomato. We'll have to agree to disagree because that movie was hot trash. But what's not hot trash is Spider-Man: Homecoming. This is the Peter Parker's return to the Marvel universe. We previously saw him in Civil War, Captain America, and this is the first joint custody effort from Sony and Marvel Studios. And Tom Holland stars as Peter Parker, as your friendly neighborhood web slinger. And this film, Homecoming, takes place months after the events of Civil War. And so Peter Parker, he's still trying to balance home life and high school. He's a 14-year-old trying to make it. And he's just trying to be. He's still being your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but he's also craving some real action. He's been begging Tony Stark to be a part of the Avengers. Been hitting him up like a crazy stalker, clingy girlfriend. And Parker eventually does get his wish. He eventually meets his biggest challenge in the form of Adrian Toomes, a.k.a. the Vulture, and who's leading a small but loyal crew of criminals who are building advanced weapons to sell in the black market. And the questions are, can Spidey put a stop to the Vulture's plans? Can he hit it off with his high school crush? Will Homecoming make up for the disappointing efforts of Sony's Amazing Spider-Man series and Spider-Man 3? We will find out. Excelsior. Yes.
All right.
So, Carl, with all that said, what the hell did you think of Spider-Man Homecoming Dance Pep Rally Senior Prom?
I thought it was dope. I thought it was a very dope movie. I had a very good time watching it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And like I said earlier, big shout outs to Jim Savard and his son Trevor. Like, we just happened to run into each other at the theater. Like, he was already sitting down, and I'm with my little cousin, and I just hear Carl. I'm like, somebody call me. I'm like, oh, well, hey, it's Jim.
Yeah.
Come on, David. We
Nice.
sat right with him. So it was like it made the experience much more better. Like, I was already having fun with David,
Yeah.
and then I'm sitting with a fellow comic geek, like Jim, and we were just discussing it. Although Jim, he's not a Spider-Man guy. It was more Trevor, he said.
Yeah.
So Trevor was just all smiles and stuff. Awesomeness that movie was. Thank you, Donovan. Thank you.
Yeah, you know what? I did see Jim Savard's review on Facebook, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what? I too thought the movie was great. You know, I was quite impressed by it, and more so because this is an MCU film that stands on its own. So you don't necessarily have to watch the previous MCU films or even Civil War.
Don't. You didn't even need to watch Civil War because you still see the beginning. You still see Civil War.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And with his phone footage.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was funny as hell.
Yeah.
He's like, wait, hold on, gotta go, guys. And then next thing you know, like he's taking Captain America's shield, and we're seeing that scene from a different angle.
Yep. Yeah, and he's like all freaking out in the hotel, all excited to be there. And
wouldn't you be?
Yeah, I would, of course. Right. But yeah, I thought it was wonderful. I like the fact that it's also a film that also stands on its own, and that it's not really setting up for other MCU films, and it doesn't feel like a quasi commercial for other MCU properties.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. So I liked that it was its own thing. I really liked Tom Holland's performance as Peter Parker.
Yes, he embodied teenage Peter Parker, which Peter Parker was intentionally written as. Mm-hmm. That's how that really was. It's just that it took a modern day turn.
Yeah, it did. Like he was like he had that all nerves and geekiness, you know. Yeah. You know, still trying to struggle being a superhero at the same time. You know, just navigating the treacherous waters of high school. You know,
high school is treacherous.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I mean, I should know. I mean, back then, high school. Oof. I mean, not that it was terrible for me, but
high school was cool for me.
Yeah, it was cool for me too. But man, you should have seen me trying to get with girls. Nah, not a cool sight. So the struggle was real back then. But yeah, I mean, I thought Holland.
No, I wish I could have seen that.
No, you don't. But anyway,
what's up, Congo?
Yeah, but yeah, Tom Holland, he was great. I liked him. I liked him. And also as Spidey, he also captured that shit talking that Spidey.
Oh yeah,
does.
you cannot have Spider-Man without like being wisecracking shit talker.
Yep.
You can't. That's one reason why I did like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Like he was that shit talking Spider-Man, especially like. Luckily, I just to see the movie was on Sunday. In the beginning, when he's just becoming Spider-Man and somebody tried to steal the car and he was in the car with them and then he just kept fucking with the car thief.
Yeah.
That was like, I was like, that's Spider-Man.
Yeah. And you know what? If you're
Tobey Maguire, he just looked like he was that Peter Parker nerd that was allergic to everything.
Hey, you know what? You cannot hate on Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker in the first two films.
I was going to say, you mentioned part 3, I'm smacking you.
Yeah, we don't talk about part 3. Doesn't exist in my headcanon.
He has a personal AI now.
Oh, we'll get to that in a second. But you know what? I will say that, to be fair, like all the Spider-Man actors have been very good. Like Andrew Garfield, he was a good Peter Parker. He just was saddled with all right to mediocre material. So I can't really fault Garfield for the movies he was in. But yeah, I was getting ready to get to that with Tom Holland Spider-Man and Peter Parker. I thought that the AI suit, while on the surface it was cool, it was a cool visual. I thought that the having his outfit his outfit be AI assisted, kind of like a mini Tony Stark, was a little bit too much of a crutch.
I don't think so. I thought it was cool just the way it was. It's like it was just a different Jarvis.
Yeah.
Voiced by Jennifer Connelly, who's actually married to, from what I heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think she's married to the guy who does the voice of Jarvis.
Yeah, Paul Bettany.
Yeah.
Isn't
Paul Bettany
Vision?
Damn, he's getting that MCU money.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Fancy from Jamie Foxx was getting that money too.
Oh yeah, Garcelle Beauvais.
Yeah, I was like, great. Look at Fancy.
Oh yeah.
She'll always be fancy to me.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I thought that the AI suit, while it was a cool feature, and it was pretty useful, in terms of like the plot and whatnot. I thought that, I guess it's just sounds like a bit of a purist in me talking, but in the comics, he never, obviously it was just a regular outfit. It never, not AI assisted or at all. And also with the AI suit, it does bring up another omission, a big omission in my view for the Spider-Man character, the fact that he doesn't have Spidey sense. If you really looked at it, like
I think there was like one small scene where he did.
yeah, there weren't any scenes. Yeah,
I may have to watch it again.
Yeah,
I will gladly watch it again.
Yeah, in Homecoming, his Spidey sense was not tingling because it was not there. And in fact, it was like, okay, that kind of leaves a problem because, okay, if you don't give Peter Parker a natural Spidey sense, then that would mean his AI suit would have to be his Spidey sense as well because
possibly that.
Because his AI, as it said in the film, records everything.
What was the name that he gave her?
Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Karen records everything, so it was so by that grounds, his suit would have to be his sense in that.
Yeah,
in a
so
way.
probably that's.
Yeah,
that's probably the Spidey sense is with Karen.
Right, but at the same time, there were many instances where Parker was getting bum rushed and ambushed from time to time as well. So the AI didn't really help him out in that too much in that regard. I mean, I know it's a nitpick. It's one of those geeky nitpicks, but with the Spidey sense always being a key aspect of his character.
Yeah, my Spidey sense is tingling. You know?
Yeah, it's like
we didn't get that.
Yeah,
okay, there's a flaw. You got that. A nitpicky flaw, but a flaw.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what's not flawed in the film. Michael Keaton, though.
Yes, I love this Vulture. I will say this though, because I recently watched the other guys. I'm just waiting for like a Captain Gene type of. Type of line. Like I was waiting for like shake your dicks and piss the contest is over, some shit like that, because it's like you're Batman, you're Captain Gene.
Yeah, I mean, it was like
I love the other guys.
Oh yeah, Otherwise is a great comedy. It was like Batman playing Birdman, playing another version of Birdman.
Yeah, and it's like you. Another thing too with his character is like you understood why he wasn't that just I'm a supervillain, I'm gonna destroy the earth. He wasn't that type of guy. He was like, okay, I got so much invested in cleaning up, the Avengers mess, that I got trucks invested. I'm doing this all for my family and all that. And then, they come in and just say, okay, you guys make this mess, and now you're getting paid to clean this mess.
Yeah.
So you can understand, his motives, and then next thing you know, like, hey, there's a little hustle over here. Hold on a sec, and then that's what that's what started.
Yeah, and I totally was all for Michael Keaton.
You understood his motives.
Yeah, I mean, Adrian Toomes, he was a guy who was basically shafted by Tony Stark, the same guy who, as you said, inadvertently, but still caused the damage in New York.
Yeah.
And you have this billionaire taking away this dude's job, and he's just trying to survive, trying to make some money. So I totally not only understood his motivation, but in a small way I agreed with him. I was like, yeah, reverse engineer this Chitauri technology, sell it on the black market, get it, son. I do the same thing. Shit.
Why not?
Fuck Tony Stark. He probably would be a Trump supporter, but anyway. Yeah, I mean, with Michael Keaton, I would dare, I would say that he is by far the most interesting villain in the MCU films outside of the Netflix series. Because because the weakest element in all the MCU films have been the villains. I mean, the strongest villain is probably Loki, but that's because Tom Hiddleston is so awesome in that role as Loki. You could tell he enjoys the hell out of that role. But Michael Keaton's Adrian Toomes as Vulture. Definitely the most interesting, and definitely the most sympathetic.
Congo said, "Yeah, fuck Tony Stark."
Word.
Tony Stark's the man.
Yeah, I mean, Iron Man's cool, but I mean, as a character, I mean, there's. We'll get to him in a second, but yeah, I totally agreed with his motivations, and in fact, I think this is where we can get into some spoilers of the film.
Okay,
so,
all right, spoiler alert. If any of you guys have already seen Spider-Man Homecoming, then yeah, join right in and just talk your ass off. Join in on the discussion. If you haven't, as much as we don't want you to leave, you may want to leave.
Well, actually,
if you don't care for spoilers, then by all means, just join in right in.
Yeah, and if you're afraid of spoilers, just hit the mute button and then just watch us talk, and then I'll give you guys a signal to unmute your computers.
Damn, Donovan said will do.
Yeah. All right, so spoilers commence in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, So getting back to Adrian Toombs, I did not see the twist coming that he was
No,
that he
not at all.
yeah
Like you would look at the little girl and you're just like, okay, she got a little Indian in her and stuff. See a little cheekbones and stuff. She a little light bright. Nope.
yeah. It turns out that that Liz, who's Peter Parker's crush, her father is Adrian Toombs. So when Peter Parker knocked on her door to take her to the homecoming dance, he answered the door. I'm like, oh,
whoa, wait, where's this? I'm like, where's this going?
Yeah,
what just happened? Like, where's this going? And then next thing you know, he turns out to be the father.
Yep. And then like at first when I saw him open the door, I was like, did he somehow figure out Peter Parker's identity?
But he still did.
Yeah, he did.
He did. He still he recognized the voice, and so it didn't take no thorough investigation. He's like, you sound familiar.
Yeah.
And then not to mention Peter Parker being the freaking geek that he was, he was just like, oh shit, his nerves was just all over the place. Mm-hmm. That pretty much gave it away.
Yeah, and also when they were talking in the backseat when Liz's dad was chaperoning them, because she was talking about how Spider-Man saved them in Washington D.C. and as she was talking, that's when he deduced that Peter Parker was Spider-Man.
He's like, mm-hmm. Oh really?
It's like
yeah,
and he's like,
he saved you, right?
Yep.
Just a car ride. Yep, exactly, Donovan.
Yep. And then in a car ride when he drops her daughter off, she's like, "Okay, Gumdrop, have a good time." And then he turns around and he's holding a gun. He has a Glock in his hand, and he's like, "Listen." And I love Michael Keaton's performance because he's a guy who he can exude menace without really having to shout or
he didn't.
Go
he
into
didn't. Jake the Snake once said, if a man has enough power, he can speak softly and everybody will listen.
Exactly, and he
showed that.
Yeah, Michael Keaton was so good. He was like, "Listen, kid, listen. If you try to stop me tonight, I'll kill you. I'll kill you and everyone you love. Now go in there and show my daughter a good time. Hey, but not too good. And hey, Peter, don't go chasing waterfalls, kid."
I'm so glad you added that. I really am.
Oh man, that would have been fun. It's like, what's with the TLC reference? Okay,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but you know what? That kind of made me think. You know what? Looking at what Toombs was doing in the whole film, really, he wasn't killing anybody.
No, he did. He did kill one person.
Well,
he killed the first Shocker.
Yeah, inadvertently. Or was it? But I was like, you know what? If I was Peter Parker, I was like, you know what? He's just stealing stuff. He's not really a bad guy. You know, I'm a chill in this homecoming dance. I'll just just dance the night away, like Carlton. You know.
You would have danced like that too. One thing I did love too, how everybody wanted to fuck on Aunt May.
What's up?
Everybody wanted to get at Aunt May. He was ordering the sandwich. He's like, "Yo, this is the kid," and they said in that I think it was Italian.
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, this is the one. This is the kid with the hot Italian aunt."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then he understood, and then Peter Parker understood it. And then when they're going to have Chinese, she gets some rice for free.
Yeah.
And then the home dude winked at her. I was just like, you know what? I would have done the same thing.
Hey, it's Marissa Tomei. I mean, she's a gorgeous actress, you know?
You can say what you need to sugarcoat. You can say what the hell it was. She's fine as hell.
I'm not sugarcoating anything. Listen.
She's fine. You don't have to be all, she's gorgeous.
She is gorgeous, though.
She's fucking fine.
She is. But anyway, and that's her role.
Yeah, that was another thing too. None of the comedy was forced.
That's true. Yeah.
The moments were just there, and I was just freaking laughing my ass off. His friend Ned was freaking hilarious. When he was when they were during the homecoming dance, and then Gloria, my sweet Gloria from Orange Is the New Black.
Yep. The teacher
who played the teacher. She's like, "What are you doing?" Looking at porn.
Oh yeah, he was the guy in the chair, his oracle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's what he wanted too, and he was just like, I'm good.
Yeah.
He was good.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Ned was a good comic relief. He was the souped friend.
Oh yeah, especially when he's sitting in Peter's room and he's wearing the mask.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and And come to think of it, like again, that's the whole Spidey sense problem. Like if he was sneaking in the room, he could have sensed that his friend was there. It's like, oh shit, I better like leave.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I thought they had a pretty cool
the chemistry.
rapport.
Yeah, the chemistry was there.
Also too, like the whole film is like a nice action comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thoughts on MJ? I like Zendaya. I like Zendaya's character.
Yeah,
I really did. Like that just was like, whatever.
Yeah,
and she's still smart and all that. And then not to mention the whole when they went to DC and they were going into the Washington Monument, she's like, listen, I'm not gonna go into a building that's built by slaves.
Oh, that's true.
And then she just kind of she's like, I'll stay out here. Made a point, but story kept going.
Yeah, like Zendaya, or is it Zendaya?
Zendaya, yeah.
Yeah, Zendaya. Like I thought she was an interesting take of the MJ character. Like she's not Mary Jane, but she's Michelle Jones. Her initials happen to be MJ.
Yeah, it's a homage to it. I'll get into it once I get into the Easter eggs I came across.
Yeah, like I thought I liked how her character was just like deadpan and sarcastic.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Like and like even though like I really hope they don't go the route of like, oh, she's gonna be like Peter Parker's MJ and like they're gonna be like develop like a love relationship.
It possibly could happen though.
But I
wouldn't be mad if it did.
There's a tiny bit of seeds where like she happens to be everywhere Peter Parker is, like at the so-called lame parties. Like, oh, you guys are here at this lame party, so are you. Well, I mean,
yeah.
And then she's hanging out at detention.
She's like there just to be there. And freaking Hannibal Barris was like, well, I'm like, what the fuck are you there for?
Oh yeah, he was like the totally apathetic gym teacher playing those Captain America PSA videos.
What was so funny is like in the PSA video, like Captain America said, and here's your gym teacher. He's pointing in one direction. Hannibal Barris is on the opposite end of the screen.
Yeah, and then and then he's like, yeah, I think, I'm obligated to show you these videos, and I'm pretty sure Captain America's a war criminal by now, but whatever.
Yeah, and then he's looking at Zendaya like, why are you here? I like to draw people who are miserable.
Yeah. It was just like delightfully weird.
Yes. That's what it was.
But I gotta say, like Peter Parker's main love interest, Liz, I thought she was pretty cool too.
Yeah, she was nice, pretty girl, and just. I mean, she wasn't necessarily the whole center stage. Like, yeah, she got into a little bit of trouble, but yeah, she had some involvement. But it's not like freaking. It's not the overbearing story. Yeah,
that's good. Like, she wasn't like no damsel in distress that needed saving.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct. And like, do you think Ned will lead? Do you think Ned becomes a hobgoblin?
I actually read that somewhere. Like, I think in the
fan theory,
like a fan theory that Ned might, because I think in the comics there's a similar character. I think maybe in the Ultimate version. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like there's a similar character who's like similar to Ned in the film, who eventually becomes the Hobgoblin. So, I mean, that would be a little too.
It's possible.
Yeah, possible, but I don't.
Possible, but he's fat. But it could happen.
It could happen, but I don't think MCU is going to go
John
that route.
Aponic.
Hey,
that was John Aponic who asked that question.
Oh, okay. Well, but yeah, it'll be a weird take, but I don't think the MCU will go that route.
So
yeah. Speaking of the other kids, what did you think of Flash Thompson, Tony Revolori?
Flash Thompson. It's a different take on Flash Thompson because the Flash Thompson that we always knew was the big brolic, jock, your typical, mouth breathing.
Oh yeah, mouth breathing. Well,
finish it. You gotta finish it once you start it.
Popcorn munching, mouth breathing, dick beating, vulva rubbing idiot.
Right. Yeah. So, but he wasn't that. He was actually he was part of the decathlon team, but yet he was what a modern day bully is now.
Yeah.
Like he's a type that he would like make fun of you. He's a snobby little rich kid who will make fun of you on social media and stuff, and like get the whole school to pick on you just because of the simple fact that he has like some type of influence because he was a snotty little rich kid.
Yeah.
And he had the whole party screaming out "Penis Parker."
Mm-hmm.
So It was a different take. I didn't really see nothing wrong with it because it was still a bully, but it was just a much more modern day bully.
Yeah, like he was just your typical millennial douche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was literally it.
Yeah. So I thought, and plus, like I thought it was a pretty nice addition that he was actually as smart as the other kids.
Yeah, it was something different. Mm-hmm. But
Yeah.
it didn't stir too much away from the original like stories, like 'cause he was still a bully.
Yeah.
As
Indeed.
simple as that.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that was a nice updated touch to that bully character. Let's see. What do you think about Tony Stark's inclusion in the film?
It did not take away from Spider-Man.
I
It did
agree.
not. I was actually afraid that this was going to be a fourth Iron Man movie, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like his role was very, very much. It was minor, major in a sense, but still minor. Where he just wasn't really. He wasn't really there. Like a lot of it was Peter Parker figuring out his way into the Avengers, into like this new, in this superhero mode that he is in now. And he was being like that part-time mentor to him. And I also loved the character Happy.
Oh yeah, Happy Hogan, John Favreau.
That was good. That was good. But yeah, it did. Yeah, Tony Stark's involvement did not take away from it at all.
I agree. Yeah, because the way the trailers made it seem, it was going to be like the Tony Stark Peter Parker show.
That's it. Yeah, and that's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Because if you actually notice too, like shout outs to the Party Nerds too. I was listening to their podcast on the way here,
Yeah.
and they brought back a lot of points that I missed in my notes. But if you notice in the trailer, they had Spider-Man and Peter Parker flying together. I said Spider-Man and Peter Parker. Spider-Man and Iron Man flying together, where that scene is not in the movie.
That's true. Yeah, that one brief shot.
Yeah, so it was more or less like that shot was more or less, okay, let's get you in here to watch this movie, but it wasn't in there. It was still a standalone Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, and I think Tony Stark being used very sparingly was a wise choice.
Yes.
Yeah, and because Spider-Man can sell his own film, you don't really need. You don't really need to shove Robert Downey Jr. in every frame. And plus, he was there like to be like the sort of like a mentor role, and just kind of help guide Peter Parker along the way.
And the chemistry was great. As a matter of fact, Tom Holland had great chemistry with everybody.
He certainly did.
Everybody, like especially like with Tony Stark. Like honestly, I see Tom Holland like going far in Hollywood. And not to mention, I came across a video too where like Tom Holland's training was like, first of all, even though he's a ballet dancer, he does gymnastics, trains MMA. So he was literally like he was embodying Spider-Man. Like he owned it. Whereas like Andrew Garfield, like he watched spiders and like probably took a couple of yoga classes and all that. And Tobey Maguire, I haven't gone that far back to.
Yeah, like. Yeah, I agree. And like especially like when Tony Stark says like if you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't have it. And then I thought it was pretty interesting that Peter Parker was forced to wear his bootleg homemade costume to fight the Vulture at the end. And speaking of the action scenes too, I like the fact that the whole film was lower stakes. It wasn't about saving the world from like this big cosmic baddie. It was just ground level. Yeah, ground level, street level villains, which is pretty much Spider-Man's lane. Occasionally he'll get into like the cosmic stuff, but then mostly he's all about defending New York and Queens.
Correct.
So, like, I like the final fight between him and Vulture on the beach, and he actually saved his life.
Yeah, still. All those time, webbing him up and say, hey, here's this guy. Bye.
Yeah. I mean, I did appreciate the fact that for an MCU film, the action was grounded.
But then, in a way, you think the Liz character can, even though she's moving to Oregon, she can come back knowing that her father is in jail. She can come back as some hell-bent supervillain who wants revenge on Spider-Man.
Could be possible. I mean, I don't know if that's the case in the comics.
The only case I thought of is the Goblins. But They could do something. It could, but probably not because it's not sticking to any of the source material. To my knowledge, there maybe have been a story in one of the stories that you would have to like go back and do research for, but it could happen.
Yeah, and plus, like, there was and I'll also get into a bit of the Easter eggs. I mean, like, one of the Easter eggs, I don't know if you were going to mention it, was during one of the mid-credit scenes where Adrian meets the guy who's a scorpion. He has a scorpion tattoo.
Yep.
So
that's literally actually the first Easter egg I came across, which could possibly lead. Because if you notice, he actually says that he has a whole group of guys, so that could lead to a Sinister Six.
Yeah, and maybe then you can have Adrian kind of try to get in touch back with his family, and maybe then you can have the daughter be like helping him out, I guess.
Exactly, or it's like since Adrian has like all the parts and pieces, he can be the one to put together like all the other costumes and weapons of the Sinister Six.
Yep, even Doc Ock.
Doc Ock, that's gonna be a legal battle like a mother.
Yeah, because
I want to see Mysterio.
Me too, I do.
I would love to see the MCU's take on him.
Yeah, but I think Mysterio's unfortunately he's a Sony exclusive character.
Yeah, because I know the Sinister Six is gonna be Sony's gonna do a standalone Sinister Six movie as well. So the MCU's doing one as well. So they're probably gonna have two different Sinister Six movies.
Or that, or maybe like maybe the MCU version won't be called the Sinister Six. Yeah. But that's
Sinister Six will probably be MCU Suicide Squad.
Yeah, but
and be better.
Yeah,
John Aponic.
Yeah, it's like Suicide Squad except good and competently written. What are some other Easter eggs that you saw?
Okay, well, we already got through the first one. This was actually a movie a video I came across.
Yeah.
Luckily, after I watched Spider-Man, probably I want to say like later on that night, I came across this video. It's either later on that night or the next day. But the second one was Donald Glover's involvement, where he plays Aaron Davis.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and if you know, is that Aaron Davis later on becomes the enemy called the Prowler. And Aaron Davis is actually the uncle to Miles Morales. He actually did mention that I just need something because I got to be safe. I got a nephew that I got to look up. That I gotta look after.
Yep.
That nephew is Miles Morales.
Hey.
So maybe when this whole Spider-Man Homecoming thing is over, it could bring in Miles Morales.
Hey, I think that'd be pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. The only thing is that I'll be too old for the role at that time, and I won't have my shot of playing Miles Morales because I'm literally the same age as Donald Glover.
Yeah, but
I don't like that.
Well, I'm
supposed to be Miles Morales, damn it.
Well, they're gonna find another teenage kid to play Miles Morales, probably.
I can look now. I'm still in good enough shape, damn it.
Yeah, but everyone's gonna know. Oh my God, here's a 40-something-year-old playing a 15-year-old. What? By
that time I will be too old for the role.
Yeah, and all the CG in the world cannot mask that.
Kurt Russell, Michael Douglas.
It can't make it believable enough. I mean, they
it happened.
I mean, it's not like they're DH to the point where
if I shave off this little beard I got, I look 16.
Okay, tell yourself that. Confidence is good.
Oh. I look good for my age. Fuck you. Okay, so the next Easter egg is Zendaya. How she's, although her name is Michelle Jones, she's MJ.
Yeah.
She is going to be the next MJ. And if you notice that the high school mascot, the mascot's name was Tiger. What was Mary Jane's nickname for Peter Parker?
Tiger.
There you go. And the fourth one, you come across Betty Brant. She makes her debut into the MCU because she was one of the high school reporters. So she starts out as a high school reporter and then goes on to work for the Daily Bugle.
Yep.
I may finding out Peter is Spider-Man. That was one of the best scenes in the entire movie. The last scene.
What the fuck?
They cut it off right at the right moment, and I freaking laughed hysterically.
Yeah, that was funny. Although, I wonder what this may mean for their relationship, because it was treated as a big deal in the comics, if I remember, when Aunt May found out that Peter Parker was Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, so it definitely will be.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're gonna bring up like some hurt feelings with Uncle Ben dying and all this. But I do hope that if they continue that route with Aunt May trying to reconcile the fact that her nephew is Spider-Man, that they don't go the jokey quippy route and actually give it the proper drama it needs.
Possibly, I think they will.
I hope so, because
they kind of did it in Amazing Spider-Man, where she didn't find out, but yet she was like very, very, very concerned and stuff. So there was some drama, and she's noticed that like, oh my God, the last time you did laundry, it came out blue and red. So I mean, I think they can do that.
Yeah, we'll see.
What was the next one? Damn it. Okay, the ATM fight was actually from the comics. I just forgot exactly which comic it was. But then Spidey being crushed by the buildings, and then him during that moment of vulnerability was actually from Amazing Spider-Man number 33.
Okay.
And that was when he really realized, okay, yeah, I'm Spider-Man. I can do this. And all that. And then also... Okay, the whole when he looked into his reflection in the puddle, and he sees the half Spidey mask and then half himself. That's actually used like throughout the comics. You can possibly find it. You can find that like anywhere.
Yeah.
And then also the running through the suburbs was actually a gag from Amazing Spider-Man number 267.
Oh.
So then there was actually a scene where he fell in front of some kids and then like scared the hell out of them and stuff, and he just kept going. So that was kind of a gag and paying homage to one of the past issues.
Yeah.
You can actually see Thor's magic belt. I can't really remember it. In Captain America's experimental shield.
Yep.
That was from the first Captain America.
Oh, okay.
That you could say, remember how Tony Stark was moving? You can actually see those items somewhere in there.
Oh, nice.
So you would have to kind of keep a sharp eye next time you decide to watch the movie. I'm sure you'll probably pick it up on Steelbook.
Oh, yeah, most likely.
Okay, so if you get the Blu-ray first and get the Steelbook, I'll just take your Blu-ray.
Nah, I'll get the Steelbook, but I mean, if it's at Best Buy, I have to pre-order it.
Really?
Yeah, because
That's how they are with Steelbooks?
Yeah, because like a lot of the Steelbooks sell out mad fast. Like that happened with Deadpool, so I couldn't get the Steelbook until like later in the year.
Well, that was Deadpool. Everybody loves Deadpool. Everybody wanted Deadpool.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna have to look out for that.
All right. So the next one, you probably I'm not sure if you noticed this, but Kenneth Choi, he played the principal.
Yeah.
The name I'm forgetting. But and if you notice that when Peter was sent to the principal's office, there was war memorabilia dating back to the first Captain America movie. Well, that's actually, and if you notice, Kenneth Choi was in Captain America as one of the Howling Commandos.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's actually, that was all that memorabilia is actually a callback, and the principal, I'm gonna call him Principal Choi. He's actually the grandson of Kenneth Choi's character in Captain America.
Oh, okay. From First Avenger?
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's a quick little callback to the first one.
Okay.
The Ramones actually covered the 1960s Spider-Man theme. If you notice in the beginning of the movie.
Yep.
All right, that was the Ramones cover for it. And then the tricked out Spidey with the Spidey suit at the end was actually in reference to the Spider armor. Not the Iron Spider, because that was actually red and gold, where this one was more like red and black and bluish.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Iron Spider was more red and gold, and it had extra legs.
Yep.
So, and then throughout the comics too, this is one thing where they stick to the source material. Where throughout the comics, Spider-Man was actually never a official Avenger. He would always turn them down, or they would actually reject him. So he was always on like standby status.
Yeah.
With the Avengers.
Okay.
So that's one thing they did. They definitely did stick to the source material.
Oh, wow.
And that's pretty much it.
Nice.
For the Easter eggs I came across.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely look out for those once I get the Blu-ray in my collection.
All right.
So yeah. Also, last question here. Like with Spider-Man: Homecoming, where would you rank this among the Spider-Man films?
Ooh, I would. This one, and Spider-Man 2, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2 with Dr. Octopus, they're like neck and neck. I really don't want to give it that much credit because it's newer, but it really is like neck and neck. I have to be on the fence and put them as a tie.
Okay. Tie for now. Fence sitting.
For now, yeah.
Okay. For me, I'll always love the first two Sam Raimi films. And Spider-Man 2, for me, Spider-Man 2 is still the best Spider-Man film, followed by the first one. So I would go with Homecoming as a solid third, right after those two films. So Spider-Man 2, then the original Spider-Man, and then Homecoming.
All right.
Yep. And then the amazing ones you can ignore.
I don't think you need to ignore them. They're not bad.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Spider-Man Homecoming. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Or you can be like John Haponic and hate on it on principle because it's Marvel.
All right, those are your final thoughts?
Yep.
All right, right now I'm just getting into the question of the week.
Ooh, this should be good.
I think we did. There was actually one picture I did post and I actually enjoyed. Try and name a game Try to name a game title using emojis.
Mm-hmm.
So I know we got a couple of them. Why am I not? Okay, we'll have to just stick with the Instagram one.
Yeah.
Okay, for the Instagram question of the week, which movie can you recite word for word?
Okay.
Okay, so we got Random Ramblings with Rob on Instagram says half baked.
Okay.
Our supervillain John Aponic says gross point blank.
Mm-hmm.
Runner-up, all of Bane's lines in Dark Knight Rises.
Yes, of course.
You remind me of that kid who was on Jeopardy, where the answer was Bane, and he said it in the voice. He was like, "You didn't have to do it. Oh, I wanted to."
Yeah.
And then Jessica Concussion says, "A tie. While you were sleeping, and Demolition Man."
Oh, I love Demolition Man.
And if I'm really being honest, most terrible movies of the 90s.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. So this week's question of the week, what was the first video game you remember playing?
Mega Man 2.
Really?
Well, it was Mega Man 2, DuckTales, Batman, 89, and then Super Mario Brothers. Those are the first 4 games I remember. I was 5 years old.
It's a toss-up between Mario Brothers and Pitfall.
Pitfall, eh?
For the Commodore 64.
Gross.
And Furman says Mario for Nintendo.
Okay. Yeah, I think Mario
was probably like the first for a lot of people in this generation.
Yeah, but I know
in our perspective generations. But yeah, I would probably say it's a toss up between those two. And I know I did have an Atari. I just can't remember the game that we used to play. Used to die in it all the time. Didn't know what the hell we were doing. We was just playing a game and having some fun.
Yeah.
I just can't remember that one, but the one I do remember was Pitfall.
Okay. That's what's up.
All right, so that will be on our social medias really soon. Oh, and we actually got emails.
We got emails.
We do.
Yes.
I really forgot about these.
All right, who sent an email this week?
Jessica.
Okay.
So go on and get to that.
Okay, so Jessica sends us an email. Dear Codex Prime team, spoiler alert. 1. Why is a senior going to the homecoming dance with a sophomore? This was the most unbelievable part of the story, talking about Spider-Man Homecoming. Even with the flimsy excuse that she forgot to snag a date, it would have been more reasonable for her to suggest that they go in a group, but they needed her to agree for the shocking reveal who her daddy is. 2. Was the shaky cam really necessary in the intro? It lasted much longer than necessary. If I wanted to watch that type of filming, I can just watch YouTube.
Or the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah. 3. Did I have a good time? Long story short, yes, but some of it was boring. Hashtag wife of your Marvel nemesis. Hashtag Stockholm Syndrome. Cheers. Jessica Concussion. Okay, well, thank you, Jessica, for those thoughts.
And we got one more.
Very nitpicky, but
One
okay.
more from you know who.
All right, from John Haponic, resident Marvel hater. Spider-Man was amazing.
Nemesis.
Okay, subject line. Spider-Man was amazing.
It was.
Just kidding.
Liar.
Homecoming was a predictable repeat of what I saw in the trailer and not memorable at all. Spider-Man continues the trend of following Marvel's safe formula, and it was just an average film. I'm nitpicky, Vic? Well, for starters, Liz should have died in either DC or by the Shocker to bring a sense of reality back to the story. Isn't that what you guys want? Something more like The Dark Knight, i.e. Rachel Dawes dies, where actions and roles for both hero and villain have actual consequences? Comparatively, look at Raimi and Tobey Maguire's film when Green Goblin dies and everyone hates Spider-Man. That was interesting. Don't worry, Homecoming is light years ahead of Garfield's awful Spider-Man. Also, by default, Wonder Woman and Suicide Squad were more memorable thanks mainly to style, action, and story. But just like Carl, I'm sadly too freaking invested in the DCEU and MCU to skip one. Always a villain, John Haponic. Okay.
First of all, I'm glad that you're owning the title as our villain.
Okay, yes. All right. First of all, John,
Get him.
I'm all for dark development in storytelling and dark, elements in stories,
You definitely are.
right? But that being said, that would have been totally out of place for Spider-Man Homecoming because let's face it, Spider-Man Homecoming was a well-made action comedy. And the comedy works in this film. And so if Liz were to die in this movie, then that shit would have been tonally way off. It would have thrown the whole film out of whack, and the whole film would have suffered as a result. So Liz not dying in this film is not a detriment to Spider-Man Homecoming, all right? Know this.
Get your life.
Yeah, what he said.
That's what you say. Shit.
Yeah, get your life, John. Come on. And also for the record, you and I will always disagree, but Suicide Squad is a terrible film on all levels.
It had a spark when it started, but then it just went garbage.
That's right. I mean,
Yes, the award-winning the Oscar award-winning Suicide Squad.
yeah, for best makeup. But let's be honest, 2016 was a mediocre year for makeup and hairstyling. So Suicide Squad won that Oscar by default. You know this.
The Harley Quinn cosplayers made it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There was some good ones.
There.
I've seen some ones that had no business being Harley Quinn and probably were better off being the Penguin, but
Oh, that is so terrible. But that being said, I think that the Harley Quinn cosplay has been done to death.
Yeah, now it is. Now it has, yeah.
Yeah, I had better not see a Harley Quinn cosplay this year.
You're going to see about 5 of them just because you said that.
Jesus. Yeah.
Well, then that's it. Any other emails, you can email us to codexprimepodcast@gmail.com. You can hit us up on the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just Google us. We're all over the place.
Oh, yeah, we are all over the place. You can also find our episodes on SoundCloud and iTunes.
And YouTube.
And Google Play. So drop us a review. Let us know what you think. And, any other final thoughts, Carl?
No, that's it. That's it. Go see Spider-Man Homecoming and enjoy it. You will.
Yes, you will, unless you're John Haponic. But tune in for thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to us. Join us next Wednesday. We're going to be talking about the season 7 premiere of Game of Thrones.
I've been wanting to listen to that theme song for a while.
Yes. Hopefully, Carl, you'll be able to.
I'll get my logins. I will get my logins.
Or you cannot be a cheapskate and spend that $14.99. But yes, thank you all for listening and watching. We will catch you next week. Peace out, nerds.
See you later.
Excelsior.